Why is it always the snacks that we love so much that get discontinued by the big corporations? It's not always that they don't sell as they hope. Some were so popular that even today, people are frustrated they can't buy them. They are literally filled with anger and they make online petitions. But once you see the snacks I brought you today, you'll definitely understand their frustration. These snacks represent the pinnacle of the 90s. Which was also the case for our first one, A Taste of Heaven, or Heaven Works in Mysterious Ways, and I'm absolutely sure it did. Do you already know which brand I'm going to talk about? Of course, Philadelphia, but not the regular sandwich spread. I'm talking about the delicious cheesecake snack bars. The ones that make your mouth water just thinking about biting into them. They came in different flavors: strawberry, classic, chocolate chip, and white chocolate raspberry. The snack bars had this perfect biscuit shell around the different flavors. Unfortunately, Kraft and Philadelphia, the companies behind this masterpiece, decided some time ago to discontinue them. But why on earth would you discontinue such a popular and super delicious snack? That was exactly the question I had when thinking about these, because I clearly remember how kids loved these and recommended them to me, and I was hooked from the first bite. The snack was introduced the first time in 1999 with such a beautiful poster, but sadly was discontinued 5 years later in 2004. They were so popular that people signed online petitions to bring them back or tried to copycat them at home. I must admit I was one of these copycats and failed multiple times, so I have a little surprise for you. At the end of the video, I will share the recipe of this divine treat with you. So, where was I? Exactly, why in the hell? Heaven? Why in heaven would they stop? It definitely wasn't because of sales. Actually, the snack bars were extremely difficult to manufacture, so the upper management found on paper that they were profitable and popular. But in reality, they were hard to scale up in production. So, as a result, they doubled down on what worked for them, but in larger quantities. And this is the sandwich spread we still see today with different flavors and brand corporations like the one with Milka. Unfortunately, this was the end for our legendary snack, and I miss it very badly. I remember reading like 300 unpronounceable ingredients on the box, but still, I munched on this sweet hot dog type of snack like it was nothing. The next snack on our list is for the most important meal of the day, our beloved breakfast. Launched in 1996 with a big amount of advertising money, they got into the hearts of ours very quickly. It was a literal game changer for the first meal of our day because it has a unique taste and was nearly irresistible for everyone that I know. That was mainly because of the waffle taste. The cereal pieces were all waffle-shaped and infused with sweet maple syrup flavor. Every bite was a revelation in the early morning. Actually, it came back recently, but why is it on the list? Simply because they can fool the masses, but not us, the real enjoyer of Waffle Crisp. The old recipe was definitely different to the new one that you can buy nowadays. They use the same name on the box, and that's unfortunately it. The Waffle Crisp cereal was one of our favorites for over 20 years, and then got temporarily discontinued from 2018 to 2021. But, as I said, it was never the same again. The next snack on our list never got a revival. When it was gone, it was gone. If you tasted one of those before they were discontinued, then you will feel the taste. I promise. Spoiler alert, it may make you shake, but you either love it or hate it. Altoid Sours. But before you skip to the next one, I have an extra nostalgic feeling for you at the end, and a real use case for the packaging they used back in the day. The sour snack was introduced in 2001, and it was one of the first candies that got pressed into a hard shape like a bonbon. The flavors ranged around raspberry, apple, tangerine, mango, and my favorite, apple. I loved how these tasted, but it was not worth what it did to my teeth. Seriously, something was off with them, in my opinion. My teeth felt horrible after having a couple of these, so there might be a connection as to why they're not being produced today. The official justification from the company behind it was due to low sales, so they had to go 9 years later in 2010. Also, I love the packaging. The little round tin was perfect to keep it after eating all of the sours, and if you still have a PlayStation Portable or one of your family members, my extra tip that I promised you in the beginning. The PSP games fit perfectly into the tin, and you had the best case possible for a small faller. The next snack is part of one of the biggest snack industry sectors available, the chips market. The chips market is valued at $9.6 billion US dollars in 2020, and this could be already near the amount of all the signed online petitions of angry ex-customers that want this special chip back. It was not a common potato chip like your Lay's Classic. It was unique. The flavor, the feeling when you bite in, the price, everything was nearly perfect. They combined everyone's love of Italian cuisine, especially pizza, with the concept of a good-tasting baked chip. And this combination was the best of both worlds, and created potentially the most missed snack known to human history. I know it sounds like an over-exaggeration right now, but if you know, you know. Keebler's Pizzeria's Pizza Chips. It was a disaster that these were discontinued. They were very popular, probably the most desired snack on this video list. Hundreds of people are still contacting the company that holds the rights today and beg them to bring them back, but they get nothing except a cold shoulder. Somehow, it's not possible for the company to bring them back. There is no rational reason. But why did they get canceled in the first place? The company was bought at the end of the 90s and got lost in the procedure. What a shame, because when they launched in 1991, people were already buying these en masse. I strongly believe they would still dominate the chips market today if they are able to bring them back in the old beloved formula. Kids nearly bit the skin off their fingers 30 years ago. That's how tasty they were. You couldn't leave the rest of the chips bag just like it is. You had to lick it out. As gross as it might sound to people that never tasted them, they were awesome and blew Doritos or Lay's away by miles. A wild guess is they would not be able to bring them back due to all the new regulations for food and snacks. What a shame. But probably the better choice. Rest in peace. Talking of peace, this snack got a revival and a rebranding, but you probably already have a bad feeling about it. Yes, you're right, the new formula was not good again. You can eat it, but in my opinion, it's a bit too peanutty. The old Butterfinger BBs was a candy bar made by Nestle. The bar was flaky, kinda orange-colored with peanut butter flavor and coated with chocolate. It was introduced in 1992 and was the size of marbles. You could compare them to Maltesers in this case if you like. I love them especially because they had the right amount of chocolate to filling ratio. They were great and melted in the mouth for good. Unfortunately, they brought them back as a rebranded version called Butterfinger Mini Bites. And let's better imagine the BBs in their prime, when the world was still fine and their commercials ran on the breaks of our favorite television shows. Butterfingers had an awesome ad with The Simpsons, and everyone loved this. The old version of the snack was discontinued in 2006, and the new version came out in 2009, but not as good as before. If you enjoyed this video, tell us what your favorite snack was back then.